Hello everyone. This is one sheet that I have uploaded in your Google Classroom. It says Excel 102 exercises sheet. Okay, so you can just download it. This sheet particularly consists of very large data, big tables. So we are actually going to learn in this particular sheet or in this particular video, we are going to learn how to handle large data, how to work with large data, how to work with big list like this, what are the shortcuts, what functions we can apply for such kind of data. Okay. So before moving any further to how to handle the data, let's first go to our page layout. I finished file, home tab, insert, and I've also finished view, except for my view tab, sorry, except for pivot tables. I finished file, home, insert, and view. Let's go to page layout now. In page layout we are going to actually see certain print settings. So everything is very similar to Word and PowerPoint except for two things. One is print area, three things, sorry. One is print area, breaks, and print titles. ठीक है. So print area is basically अगर आप कुछ area select कर रहे हो, for example if I want to print only these entries, and if I'm going to click on print area and I'm just saying set print area, you just carefully notice that my name box is changed to print area, right? So if I'm going to click Control P, this area will only get printed, nothing else will get printed. Okay. So this is simply a print area. It just shows the area, it selects an area on the sheet which you would want to print. Okay, that is print area. The next thing is page breaks. You can insert a page break or remove a page break based on print settings. If I want to print till this particular column or this particular row, I can insert a page break over here. Okay, you can see a thick line over here. It is very I don't think it will be visible because of these table settings. I'll just try to insert it. नहीं दिख रही है. So you can actually go to the page break view and you can see this. Let me just check if we could go to the page break preview. You can see exactly where page break has been applied. ठीक है. So if you want to print a certain area and you want to break the page into different parts, you can see where the break has been applied. So that is breaks. You can just insert a page break or remove page breaks. This is just like how we inserted section breaks and page breaks in Word. Okay. There is something called print titles. So before I go to print titles over here, let me go to my file tab and my print options. So when I'm going to print options, I see my entire table like this. Acha, my print area is set na. I will just remove it. Clear print area. Okay, so I'll just see if the same things are appearing. Still the same. So it was up till here, I guess. And I'll also remove all the page breaks. So I'll just go back to my print preview. I hope the entire table is visible. It's not. It's appearing like this because of the page break, I think. Or else I can also do one more thing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the entire table. Okay. So this is a very big data. So shortcut to select the entire table is if you click Control Shift and left, sorry, right key, Control Shift and the right arrow. Right में जहाँ तक आपकी data है वहाँ तक select हो जाती है. And if you click Control Shift and down arrow till the bottom of your data, everything gets selected. ठीक है. Let me just check. Yes, everything gets selected. So I'm just going to say Control P. Okay, if I'm clicking Control P, my print settings is opening. And I'll just say print selection. ठीक है, अभी भी यही आ रहा है. we have to remove the page breaks. How do we do that? I'm going to reset all my page breaks. Go to view and see this. जैसे पेज ब्रेक हो रही है वैसे ही आया है ना. What if I just drag it and change this? Alright, so I've just changed my page break view. Mostly abhi it should work. Let's just see. It's working, but it's taking some time to load, I think. Alright, so यहाँ पे क्या हुआ actually? I'll just show you few things. So the entire sheet, I want to print the entire sheet, right? But if you could observe, my half of the columns is appearing in the next page, है ना? So in this case, if I want there is something called scaling options over here. Of course, you know orientation कैसे change करना है, margins कैसे change करने हैं, ये सब आपको पता है. Scaling is something new over here. Scaling simply means that if you fit sheet on one page, आपके सारे rows, columns सब कुछ shrink होके एक sheet में दिखेगा. एक पेज में दिखेगा. Everything gets collated, which is not at all visible, right? If you're fitting all the columns on the page, your rows will be moving, but your columns will be it will get shrink to one particular page. You can also fit all the rows and move the columns. इसमें सारे rows आ गए हैं, लेकिन हमारे columns are appearing in the next few pages. ठीक है? So scaling is simply to scale down your data. It just compresses or it just shrinks your data and tries to fit everything in one particular page. You can either do it for rows or columns, or you can do for the entire contents itself. यहाँ पे there is an option called page setup. Let's go to page setup. यहाँ पे you can change the settings manually for a page. You can change the orientation. You can adjust the scaling with respective to certain percentages, right? Margins आप change कर सकते हो यहाँ पे. जैसे आप change कर रहे हो आपकी preview में you can see the changes. Header footer apply कर सकते हो यहाँ पे. You can just simply type the header and footer over here, and again same word options are applicable over here, and you can just set your header and footer. There is something called print area, मैंने बता दिया. There is something called print titles over here. We're just trying to understand print titles and page order. ठीक है? Before we go to that, in the bottom of this particular screen, you have this box, show margins. So you can also change the margins over here. आप यहाँ पे भी manually you can change the size and ऊपर नीचे आप कर सकते हो. ठीक है? I'll just remove that now. That was just for you to know. Now, if you could observe this particular sheet, okay, I'll just remove the scaling. If you observe this particular sheet, my all columns are not appearing here. It is just moving to the next page also. So when I'm printing it, there will be an option of whether you want to see all the columns first or whether you want to see all the rows first. Okay? So if I go to page setup, गो टू माई शीट ऑप्शंस. आपको कैसे चाहिए? आपको पहले कॉलम्स देखनी है या फिर रोज देखनी है? इफ इट इज डाउन द ऑर्डर, पहले आपके सारे रोज आएंगे, फिर द नेक्स्ट कॉलम. इट डजंट मेक एनी सेंस. सो इट शुड मोस्ट केसेस इट शुड बी लाइक दिस. आप पहले सारे कॉलम्स देखोगे एंड देन यू कैन सी द रोज फॉर डिफरेंट एंट्रीज. ठीक है? So you can see customer. What the other thing is, if I'm moving to the next column, यहाँ पे कॉन्टैक्ट नेम है, कॉन्टैक्ट टाइटल है, ओके. द नेक्स्ट पेज कॉन्टैक्ट नेम है, एड्रेस सिटी है. Actually, I have frozen this particular contact name. That is why it is appearing in every other page. ठीक है? Let's go to our print titles in the page layout tab, and I'll tell you what is the use of that particular command. If you click on Control plus up arrow, you can just move to the top of the data immediately. I'll just go to print titles. So अगर आपकी rows जो है जब आप print करते हो, if your rows are not appearing in every other page, your data will not make sense, right? से फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपकी 1 से लेके 29 तक प्रिंट फर्स्ट पेज में आ रही है, ठीक है, एंड इन द सेकेंड पेज 30 से शुरू हो रही है, बट यू डोंट नो वेदर इट इज कस्टमर आईडी और नेम और किसकी नाम, मैनेजर का नाम है या तुम्हारा नाम, ये नहीं पता. सो यू वांट दिस हेडर रो टू अपीयर इन एवरी अदर पेज, ठीक है, यू वांट दिस हेडर रो टू अपीयर इन एवरी अदर पेज. दैट इज वाई यू वुड गिव अ सर्टेन रो एज अ टाइटल, ठीक है. इस कॉलम को, इस रो को सिलेक्ट करके आई एम सेइंग दिस रो हैज टू रिपीट एट टॉप ऑफ एवरी पेज, ठीक है. सिमिलरली इफ आई वांट माय कॉन्टैक्ट नेम, मान लो तुम्हारी अटेंडेंस की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे, attendance, your father's name, mother's name, address, and everything. So your columns are appearing in different pages. So how do I know this person is the father of this person? So in that case, I can fix this particular column also, right? If I'm fixing this particular column, this entire column will appear at the first of every page. Okay? So rows to repeat at the top of every page and column to repeat at every left side of the पेज. सो दैट इज प्रिंट टाइटल्स. आप कुछ टाइटल्स फिक्स कर रहे हो विच वुड अपियर व्हेन यू आर प्रिंटिंग इन एवरी अदर पेज, ठीक है. इफ आई एम सीइंग माय प्रिंट प्रीव्यू, यू कैन सी दैट माय रोज आर अपियरिंग इन एवरी अदर पेज, जो पहले नहीं आ रहा था, ठीक है. एंड माय फर्स्ट कॉलम, सॉरी, माय कॉन्टैक्ट नेम कॉलम इज ऑल्सो अपियरिंग इन एवरी पेज, ठीक है. सो दैट इज द यूज ऑफ प्रिंट टाइटल्स. With this, I think page layout is also over. Page layout mein nothing else is new that you haven't studied before, that is nothing else is new that you don't know before, ठीक है. The other two tabs, of course, formula and data पे we will be working throughout this semester in Excel. These two are very important, and you will actually learn a lot in Excel using only these two tabs in the ribbon, right? After that, you have your review tab, which is exactly the same as MS Word. इसमें there is nothing new. अब वहाँ पे आप डॉक्यूमेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करते हो, यहाँ पे आप शीट को प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हो या फिर एंटायर वर्कबुक को प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हो. वर्कबुक इज अ कलेक्शन ऑफ ऑल शीट्स and sheet is just in which you are operating, just in which I am working now. जैसे customer info is the sheet I am working in now. If I am applying a password, it is only this sheet will get protected, no other sheet will get protected, ठीक है. View is done. So let me go back to my formulas tab or home tab. I just want to show certain things about how to work with list. ठीक है. So let's quickly talk about working with list. So when you're working with large data, if your first row, or sorry, the first row is column headers for your entire data, it is very easy to access data. So it is always important when you're having large data, when you're having tables, the first row is always column headers, right? The first thing we are going to see when you're working with large data and working with list is the sorting option. So let's go to our employee records sheet. I'm just going to my employee records sheet and I'm just going to the top of the worksheet, right? So if you go to your data tab, you have something called sort and filter. Okay? This is a protected sheet, so I have to enable it, but let me do in customer info. Okay? So in the customer info sheet, say for example, I have to sort the data according to company name, right? In the data tab, you have something called sort and filter options. So these two things over here, A to Z and Z to A, this is called single level sorting, wherein instantly एक column sort हो जाती है. If I am selecting B column, uh, if I am selecting this column and I am saying A to Z, so my company name gets sorted. ठीक है, I think it will work in employee records also. Doesn't work. Okay. So you just click on the header and you try to sort it. So now I've sorted company name. I want to sort contact name. I want to just do it descending order. So I'm clicking on it. My contact name gets sorted. It was starting from A, but now it is starting from Z, right? So this is single level sorting, quick sorting. These two are actually called quick sorts, wherein immediately आप sort कर सकते हो. There is another bigger symbol over here which actually says When you click on it, you get a dialog box. This is actually called multi level sorting. Different levels पे आप sort करना चाहते हो. So let's say I want to sort two or more columns at the same time. Okay, so I just click on this bigger option that I have, sort option. I just click on this. You get a dialog box. यहाँ पे आप actually levels add कर सकते हो. So the first level I just want to sort by contact name. I'll just say this is ascending from A to Z. ठीक है. I want to add another level and I'm saying यहाँ पे I want to sort by a company name, and this will also be A to Z. Then I also want to sort by address or say region. ठीक है. Region is also I want to do A to Z, or I can also sort by company ID, right? So you can add up to 64 levels as of 2007 version. I don't know what is the range that you can include now, but as of 2007 version you can actually use 60. You can include 64 levels provided you have so many entries in your table as well, so many column headers in your table as well. Okay, so this is multi-level sorting. I can delete any level or copy any level. This is my wish. I can also repeat it again. I can also sort again by contact name, company name. So I just click OK. If you could see, my entire table would change. Okay, everything is from A to Z. First contact name, then company name, and then the city, and then the customer ID. Right. So this is multi-level sorting. Now, what if you have a data like this wherein month and year is also included? यहाँ पे आप मल्टी लेवल सॉर्टिंग कैसे करोगे? बिकॉज यहाँ पे ए टू जेड का ऑप्शन तो नहीं है. मान लो यहाँ पे इंस्टेड ऑफ जनवरी में जून इट इज़ जैन, और ए यू जी फॉर अगस्त, सेप्टेम्बर के लिए एस सी पी. In that case, how will you tell Excel that this is the correct format in which you have to sort? So for this also you have customized options. So let me, I'm just keeping my cursor in the header buyer. I'm working on buyers 2015 sheet. I'll just go to my sort option. So my first level would be by buyer, and it's A to Z. The second level will be by month, and over here I'm giving some custom list. It's not A to Z. ठीक है, यहाँ पे तो I want in a chronological order, right? यहाँ पे I don't want April 1st and then August and then March or something like that. I want it in a chronological order. So when you want to follow, say, in a chronological order like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, weekdays, or January, February, you select custom list, and this is the format that I have, and I'm just adding it. I'll click on OK. If you could see the list entries, it follows a particular sequence, right? I just click OK and OK. Right, now it is in chronological order, first by buyer name and then by month. This is also an example of multi-level sorting, but chronologically. So यहाँ पे if you want to sort date, you want to sort month, you want to sort year, you use this kind of a format, right? The next thing that you have as part of working with list is filter options. ठीक है, यहाँ पे this is a table. ठीक है, this has not been inserted as a table, but this is a table entry. ठीक है, if you want to apply a certain filter over here, just go and click on filter. ठीक है, if you go and click on filter, even if it is in one cell, the entire column header will have your filter options. This drop down arrow comes up. ठीक है, this drop down arrow is nothing but it tells you what are the entries in your list. ठीक है, what are the entries in your data table. So if you don't want to see, say, November, March, May की details, you just want to see Jan or Feb, April, August, Jan, Feb. ठीक है, you just want to see these 3 months or these 4 months. Just click OK. You will get only the values of those months. ठीक है, so the filter is basically to filter to see specific data or record. So go to the data tab, sort and filter. The filter will drop down at all the column orders in all the column headers. ठीक है, you can click over here also and sort the data. If you want to sorted by single level sorting करना चाहते हो, आप यहाँ से भी sort कर सकते हो. There is an option of sort by color also, which is a customized option, right? If you clear over here, not this one, over here, you can also clear all filters from this particular category. If you clear all filters, everything would be visible. ठीक है? So this is filter. So in the data tab itself, towards the right side, you have something called subtotal. So subtotal इसीलिए use होते हैं to, if you want to find out the total for one specific category. Say you have 5-6 buyers over here. हर buyer की total calculate करना चाहते हो, so you can use the subtotal option. ठीक है? So let me say subtotal at each change in, I'll say, buyer, and use the function sum. You can also use other functions. You can use count, average, min, max, or even the product. ठीक है? Add subtotal to, let's say, the cost. So for every change in buyer, I want to find out what is the cost or what is the items that they have sold. ठीक है? यहाँ से buyer हटा देती हूँ. So for every change in buyer, I want to find out basically each buyer का कितना cost incurred है और each buyer ने कितनी items sold sell किए हैं. ठीक है? That is my idea of using this particular option, right? I'll just say okay. Let me see if I get my output. Yes, I got it. So this person, इनकी total items है ये और total cost is this. ठीक है? For the next person, Gonzales, this is the total items that he has sold and this is the cost incurred. If I'm going to click on this minus symbol, I will not see that buyer's data. ठीक है? If I'm going to click on this, I will not see the next data. So for Reynolds, it is items is 1284 and his total is this. And for Smith, this is the item total and cost total, and you also have the grand total. ठीक है? So subtotal basically categorizes your data and you can perform a calculation. Okay, so subtotal में आप for every change in month भी कर सकते हो. हर month की कितना cost है और कितनी items sale हुई हैं ये भी पता कर सकते हो. And you can also find the average, you can also count. So this is simply a very customized option and a very quick calculation that you can do without inserting any function. So let's say for month you want to find out the average cost incurred and the average item sold. So I'll just click OK. If I'm clicking OK, I can actually see January ki average is this, Feb ki average is this, March, April, you have 12 averages. ठीक है? For each and every buyer. Actually हमने buyer के हिसाब से किया है. We did not group it as per buyer data. So for every month and every buyer, you are getting अलग अलग entries. ठीक है? So you can actually use these plus minus sign and actually see what kind of data, what kind of subtotal has been done based on certain categories or based on certain groupings. ठीक है? The left side of the sheet is actually showing your groups. If you click on plus, the group will open. If you click minus, the group will close. ठीक है? That is subtotals. For example, if you see in this sheet called subtotals, over here you have 5 different products: choco chip cookie, fudge brownie, strawberry, vanilla, etc. So if I want to find out the number of units sold based on certain salespersons and based on certain product categories, I'm just clicking OK. So if you could see this person, for this product he has sold this much. The total sales is this. For D macros he has sold this much amount. So for every category and every salesperson, so much sales total has been appeared. Okay? So please explore subtotal की option. If you can see, there is a function also applied over here. What does the function say? Equal to 9. 9 may be a code for some kind of a category that they have grouped, and the range. Okay? So this is, so 9 is simply, I think, this one over here, this salesperson की definition होगा शायद. Function number. अच्छा, this is the function number, whether you want sum, average or count. All right. So the next thing we are going to talk about is, I'll just undo this. Yes. So the next thing is formatting a list as a table. This is a list. If I want to format this list as a table with filter and everything automatically, go to my home tab. I go to my home tab, and in the styles section you have something called format as table. Just click on it and any format option. and just select the data which you want to use. My data will start from here. I'm using my control shift right and control shift down arrow to select the entire data, and I'm saying my table has headers. Okay, I'm just giving an OK. So my filter has been applied over here, and list has been my list has become a table. Okay, so your filter options, sort options appear automatically, right? Your design tab actually gives you shows some extra things over here. It says like you can remove duplicate entries. Okay, you can actually summarize with a pivot table. We will do in the later stage. Okay, so here there is something called a total row option. If you include a total row at the end, you can actually see the total sales. Okay, the total row simply gives you the total number of sales. So I can just use it or not use it based on certain kind of data. So automatically my total gets calculated at the bottom of my table. So to go up again to my list, I can just click on control up arrow. Okay. So you can also drag the table. If I'm just clicking on this option, and I can just drag the table and insert. Yes, I can just drag this particular thing over here and insert another column for in which includes in my table, which has been included in my table. Okay, so if you want to include more columns or rows, just drag the bottom of the table, right? So यहाँ पे how to remove duplicate entries. Either you can use something in the design tab, remove duplicate entries, और home tab में हमने conditional formatting में भी ये देखा ना. Not in conditional formatting. Where did we see to remove duplicate values? Yes, conditional. उसमें highlight cell rules में duplicate values will get highlighted. If there are any duplicate entries, the red text में appear होगा. Let's see if there are any duplicate entries. No. So there is no duplicate entries, but if you have any duplicate entries, you can either use conditional formatting from here and highlight the duplicates, or you can see the remove the duplicates from this particular option in the design tab. Okay, so a dialog box will appear and you can choose from what column you want to remove the duplicate entries. Now salesperson, I'll have मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस हो सकते हैं, सो आई डोंट वांट टू रिमूव दिस. प्रोडक्ट भी जैसे 5 चॉकलेट चिप कुकी है, 5 नहीं 7 है, सो आई डोंट वांट टू रिमूव दैट ऑल्सो. Actually is data mein this doesn't make sense. Say for example, if there is student entry, student records, so in that case if I have two people with the same roll number, then I can remove those duplicates, right? So you can either use this remove duplicate option, or in conditional formatting you can highlight the the duplicate entries in your table. So now there is another very useful option over here, which is called freezing worksheet panes. Now this is a very large data, and when I'm moving this way, okay, this is actually frozen. Uh, when I'm moving towards my right side, the first column has been hidden, right? So अगर ये phone number है, ये किसका phone number ये मुझे नहीं पता होगा, right? So I want my data till contact name to be frozen, ठीक है? So जहाँ तक मेरे को freeze करना है, I will click on the column next to it. I will go to my view tab, and in the window option I have something called freeze pane. I will freeze these panes, ठीक है? And if I'm moving, you can just see my contact name तक सारे details are frozen. The first 3 columns are frozen, ठीक है? Similarly, when I'm moving downwards, I want to see my column headers also, ठीक है? Although इसमें visible है, you can also select the first row and you can also freeze it. First top row freeze कर दो, ठीक है? So whenever you are moving down, you can see these columns. Yes, you can see these column headers, ठीक है? So that is freezing worksheet panes. You can freeze specific rows and columns so that whenever you scroll down with large data, the important things is visible, ठीक है? So to unfreeze, you just go back and click on unfreeze panes. The other thing that is also a very common and useful option in Excel is grouping worksheets. So if I want to group these two sheets together, customer info and order info, because I think they both might be related. So I just do nothing. This is sheet में तो मैं हूँ already. I'm just clicking control and selecting the other one. It is grouped. ठीक है? So why do you group it when you want to select two sheets and use the same formatting options, right? You whatever changes you're making in one sheet will appear in the other group sheets, right? So to ungroup, you can just click on control and select it again, or just right click and click on ungroup sheets. Control select and control deselect, or just right click and click on ungroup. ठीक है? So this is simply grouping and ungrouping sheets. Like in Word, when you inserted pictures, when you inserted objects, you wanted to group them together so that you can edit it एक साथ. This is also a similar option wherein you can just do some formatting changes for both the sheets at the same time. You can also group multiple sheets, two or more sheets also at the same time. So with this, we are actually completing the basics of MS Excel. So your file tab, home tab, insert, page layout, review and view, everything is over. Insert में we just have pivot tables and slicer options. Slicer of course आपकी पुराने versions में नहीं होगा. And you have formulas and data on which we will be working extensively. Data we will be starting up very shortly, right? So just go back and revise everything and let me know if you have doubts. Thank you.